Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to FWP News. Today we have Mexican-American War with the side of Mexican Cession and the Louisiana Trade. The Mexican-American War was caused by Mexico occupying the lands before the Americans. The travel west and the Louisiana Trade played a big role on what this war would become. This all began in April 1846 in Texas. Mexico saw the action of moving into the land of Texas and not acknowledging them preoccupying the land as an act of war. Mexico was okay with them claiming the land that wasn't being used by them, but they couldn't agree on a border in Texas because both countries wanted more land. Many Americans across the country did not believe this war was a great idea because the president of America at the time, James Polk, put soldiers out on the land of disagreement, and Mexico had shot them for not recognizing them. James Polk later made a statement to Congress saying, quote-unquote, Mexico has invaded our territory and shed American blood on American soil. Though many Americans thought James Polk was telling the truth, many others questioned it. California and New Mexico were somewhat in the same situation. California and New Mexico were both lands that were being used by Mexico, which later would become Americans' territory due to the result of the Mexican-American War. By a treaty signed, Guadalupe Hidalgo would give up what would have been half of Mexico to the U.S. to avoid any other possible interactions with Americans in the expansion westward. The states given up would include California, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Wyoming. This map shows American and Mexican land before and after the war. As you can tell, America had a lot less land, and Mexico had significantly more land than before this war. States like California and New Mexico were originally Mexico's territory. The manifest destiny in the Mexican-American War also had a lot in common. In the Mexican-American War, there were people, such as natives and Mexicans, that were there before the Louisiana Trade. And the manifest destiny was the movement of westward expansion, and the Louisiana Trade happened, in which both the Mexican War and the manifest destiny not only relocated the Mexicans and natives, but it was also another step forward in the westward expansion. Fun fact time. My first fun fact was that the Americans in the Mexican-American War, the U.S. had less than 3 times less American soldiers than Mexican soldiers. And during the war, Mexico gave a chance to the United States to retreat, which was later rejected. Also during the war, the Mexican general said, quote, both sides have been beaten up badly, then later retreated, given up the land, and later given up the rest of the westward expansion land that the Americans have been striving for. That was the weather update on the Mexican-American War of 1846.